Hi folks, the Filipina P here. And with travel restrictions finally easing all over the world, a lot of you guys are considering bringing a Filipina to your home in the West. But before you consider doing that, there are a lot of things you need to know. Is it possible? Is it wise? Will she suffer a culture shock? And most importantly, what are the risks involved? Well, today we're lucky enough to have a couple that's been through it all, and we can hear about the process as well as the culture shock. Do people in the West stare at them? Did the Filipina find work? What does she think of life in the West? This is gonna be interesting. Hey James,
Good
Maylin.
morning to you, P.
Yeah, it's nice to see you both. How are you?
I'm good.
And I'm quite well as well.
That's great. So, James and Maylin are a mixed couple living in the United States. Which state, James?
The state of Ohio.
Wow, it's cold there right now, right, Maylin?
Yes.
Oh, so guys, please tell us your story. How long have you known each other?
We've known each other for right at 4 years, and we've been married for 3.
You guys known each other for 4 years and been married for 3 years. Wow. How did you guys meet?
Believe it or not, on Facebook,
Christian page.
a Christian webpage on Facebook,
Facebook.
not a dating site.
Okay. So Facebook is the culprit of this union.
Correct.
Okay.
Shocking one. Had anyone told me years ago that I would meet my wife on the internet, I would never have believed it.
Yeah, well, technology, eh? So guys, what's the age gap between you?
32 years.
Really? It doesn't show. You look younger than your age, James. If you don't mind me
I'm happy to
asking,
hear that.
how
I will be 61 in 2 more weeks.
2 more weeks? So you're turning 61 in 2 more weeks, and Maylene's 28. Well, advance happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you.
So James, have you
I
ever?
can give my address. I'll give you my address later on, and you can send a gift.
All right, because your mailing system works.
Oh yes, we do have a mailing system that works.
So James, have you ever been to the Philippines?
Yes, I spent many months in the Philippines on 3 separate occasions.
How long have you been in the United States, Maylin?
4 months.
Oh, 4 months. So, what do you do? What kind of job does Maylin do?
Laundry, a very big machine.
5 people to the machine. They have giant machines that do all of the laundry, and they come down to the conveyor belt, and then she grabs the napkins off and folds them. It's an easy job, but somewhat fast-paced.
Okay. So, Maylin, are you surprised that everything is automatic in the United States? The doors?
Everything's automatic.
That's her favorite word. That's when she first, after her first 3 weeks here, I asked her, what would you describe in 1 or 2 words your experience so far in the U.S.? And she said, automatic.
So, was it easy to get in? What visa did you apply for?
CR1 visa.
CR1 visa, which is a spousal visa, right, James? Was it hard to get a spousal visa?
It's very hard.
Very many difficult steps. Unlike even friends of mine, they pay attorneys, pretty good money to make the application. I did it all myself. But the waiting periods are a little frustrating. When you file initially and then it goes from the USCIS to the NBC, that can be a 10-month period of time going through those 2 American organizations before they ever allow Manila to even see the paperwork to be able to put you on the roster for trying to obtain your visa.
Okay, so how long was the process in total?
Our total was almost 2 years.
Wow. Where did you guys get married? Here in the Philippines or in the United States?
Yes,
In the
in the
Philippines.
Philippines.
Okay. So are you guys planning to live here in the Philippines or retire here in the Philippines, James?
I am, yes. I'm only waiting until she gets her citizenship. Once she has her citizenship, then we'll apply again for dual citizenship in the Philippines. And that way she can draw my Social Security, and she's working, and she'll be able to draw Social Security. So I want to make sure she's set up properly before I leave here.
I know it's quite hard to get a spousal visa. Was she approved the first time?
She was denied the first time,
Yeah.
and very upset naturally. And that was because she had a late registration of her birth certificate.
Why
But
was
they did a hard time about Facebook as well, and they kept asking her questions about Facebook.
Because of that.
Because of that. And that was what the excuse that they used anyway. But she got denied because of that. And then they gave her a list of items that she had to accomplish. Many things she had to get.
And make my own story, English
A love story.
a love story, many things. So makes me
I had
cry.
to write a love story, how I met her, and ongoing. And one issue that Gracie, your friend that you've interviewed many times, the attorney, informed me of, because I had a Zoom meeting with her as well when she got denied, is that when if you're talking on Facebook, they expect to see lots of chat records.
Oh.
She had about 3 pages, I think, of chat logs.
Yeah,
And Gracie said, "Oh no, you need like 100 pages of chat logs."
Okay.
So I actually ended up sending over 400 pages of chat logs. I emailed
400?
them. Yes. I emailed them to her, and she took them and had them printed out in Manila. And I said, but Gracie informed me. She said, whatever they ask for, give them way more than they ask for. So I did that.
I bet the chat logs were rated G.
They always were. Our chat logs.
Sometimes I will think like that.
Oh my God, that's a lot of paperwork. And to think that you guys are already married, I was expecting
Right.
that it should have been easier for Maylin to get to the States.
But no. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Many Americans think that once you marry someone in another country, they're pretty much automatically here in 3 or 4 months. That's far from the truth.
So, James, did any of your friends and family tell you that you were crazy to bring a beautiful young woman to the West?
Surprisingly, I can't recall one person having an issue with that. Most of them, of course, I'm at this point in time, I'm 56 years old when I'm going to marry her, and everybody thinks it's great you're finally getting married. So, maybe if I were 20 or 30 or something, they might, have a different take on it. But at this point, they're like, oh, congratulations, you're finally getting married to a very pretty girl, nice girl. So, yeah, I had no detractors.
Aren't you afraid that she might leave you for a rich young doctor?
Well, our situation, I think, in my eyes, is a little different than the average person's. She is staunch Christian. She was a virgin, had never been on a date in her life, and said she would never go on a date and never kiss a guy and never hold a man's hand until she was married.
Wow.
And she doesn't believe in divorce, and neither do I. And so I really don't have any worries along those lines.
You got a keeper, James. You lucky duck. So what can you advise our viewers out there when finding their future wife in the Philippines?
I'm a little biased, but I always say go for the Province girl. I'm pro Province girl.
Province girls. Okay. Well, I can see that Maylin is the perfect depiction of a province girl. Very
Right.
modest, very feminine. Yeah, I can hear my mother describing the perfect dalagang Pilipina. That's what we call
Yeah.
it. So,
Yeah.
Maylin, you didn't have any boyfriends before James?
No.
Wow.
He's first.
He is the
My
first and
boyfriend.
last.
Yeah.
The only one she's ever considered. I am too lucky, I believe.
So, what about your family, Maylin? What was the first impression of James?
They're very happy, America.
They're very happy because he's American. Tell me about it.
No, I'll help you out a little bit because she's so shy. Security, obviously.
Mm.
From their standpoint, their daughter's going to have a decent life.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to have a much better life than they would ever expect her to have.
Okay.
And I'm quite pleased that they're pleased with that. I mean, they treated me like a son from the very minute, although her dad is not quite 10 years younger than me, I don't believe. If I
Okay.
remember correctly, he's quite 10 years younger, but he's younger. But I mean, they treated me wonderful from the very beginning. She has to translate. Her parents, neither one can speak English.
Yeah.
Same as my parents. My mom knows how to, well, do you want coffee? Are you okay? Basically, that's the only thing she knows. But you mentioned that her parents are younger than you. So you don't feel any awkwardness that you're calling them dad or something like that.
Yeah, they're the happiest people I've ever met. Overall, Filipinos are that way.
Yeah.
But her parents, I mean, they're just always happy and always kind and always smiling and very sweet people.
So, guys, I will be a little nosy. Are you guys gonna have kids? What are your plans in the future?
One boy and one girl.
Ah, that's the plan.
Yeah.
It started out with about 5. I finally convinced her 2 is the magic number.
So she's the one wanting 5 kids?
Yes, it may be more.
A basketball team?
But I convinced her, Filipinos don't have our mindset, which says we must be able to afford them and we must be able to give them everything that they need.
Mm-hmm.
And it's harder to you have to take away from the other 2 if you have the third. You have to take away from the other 3 if you have the fourth. So, in my mind, 2 is perfect. A boy and a girl would be wonderful. But yes, we do want children, obviously.
I was just gonna ask if you guys get nasty stares because, there are people that might be thinking negatively because of your age gap, and she's a foreigner in a foreign land. So,
When she arrived here, she expected to be everyone staring at her, and she was very shy to go out because she thinks everybody's going to be looking at her. Because in rural Ohio, we live out in the countryside, and it's a smaller communities around here, not large cities, and nobody stares at us. She said, I did not expect this. But because of the age gap, for one, and then because she's much different, we don't see many Filipino people in these rural communities of Ohio. She thought that they would pay a lot of attention to her, and she's like so surprised. She said they just say hi and shake your hand or whatever, and stop and talk to you, and then go on. But they don't think anything about me being different, So she's very pleased with that.
that's great. People are just, minding their own business.
I mean, I'm kind of in shock about it myself because I thought, when we go to the Walmarts and the malls and shopping centers, that I expected some people to, especially women, to frown at the fact that there's a obvious age gap. And I have not experienced it one time thus far.
That's great. Because I've heard some mixed couples getting the nasty stare from older women. You dirty old man, how could you? And then they feel pity for the girls, like, oh honey, he deceived you. Oh, you poor thing. So that's great that you guys are accepted and not getting any weird stares. So Maylin, do you like their food?
Yummy. It's yummy.
It's yummy.
Our tummy need to find the rice. need rice.
You need rice.
Yeah, something. It's not enough.
It's not.
It's not.
Yeah, you eat a big banquet and there's no rice, it's only a snack.
So, can you get rice there? Can you buy rice in Walmart?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, rice everywhere.
Okay.
We just don't eat very much rice, and you go to restaurants and, you have to go to almost an Asian restaurant to find rice. So you just go to a regular American restaurant, they don't have any rice. She got to experience her first Christmas tree here.
Ah,
Never had a Christmas tree before.
yeah, I
And she
can.
also got to experience our Thanksgiving, our holiday of
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, where we get the family together and have a nice feast.
Yeah, the turkey.
We got the turkey and the mashed potatoes and gravy and the green bean casserole and, the
Ah,
pumpkin pie and all those things.
yeah, the turkey. How's the turkey? Did you like it?
Yeah, I like very yummy.
Very yummy.
I actually made the
You
turkey.
made it.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that was great. You're experiencing new things and, what life has to offer. So, what's her favorite American food so far?
Yes, spaghetti. I like it.
She likes the spaghetti.
Not a sweet spaghetti?
No.
No. Yeah, I know Filipinos love their sweet
I
spaghetti.
eat spaghetti in the Philippines and it turns my stomach. Can't stand it.
As I've said
You look
before, sugar in spaghetti is sacrilege. It shouldn't be that way. So you like their Western spaghetti. How about their burgers?
Very thick, big, very
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 big.
thick meat, very big sandwich.
In the
Yeah.
Philippines, I think just like that.
I
But
know.
here with it, it's hard to finish.
It's hard to finish. It's a jawbreaker. Like, you really have
Yeah,
to
you need to
Open
your
wide.
open
very
wide.
Yeah, she likes the burgers. You like those fries also, right?
Yeah.
Very crispy, French fries. They were very nice. She
Uh,
likes those.
Okay.
And our pizza is very good also.
Oh my God, yeah. Pizzas to die for. So, Maylin, how are the stores different in the United States?
The store in the Philippines, you need to open the door or something. Here is automatic. Just
The doors will open for you automatically.
Yeah.
So, no guards opening up the doors. So, it's automatic. Okay.
Yeah. Automatic. The store very very wide.
Very wide. The aisles are wide. Okay.
Very large stores.
They always have what you need. They don't say no stock, sir. Sorry, ma'am, sir. No stock. They don't do that there.
Always in stock, never out of stock.
Uh-huh.
And she's a little shocked by the fact that, we don't have 3 or 4 people accounting when we're at a register. Doing the, counting your items and counting the items on the receipt and check this and check that. They scan your stuff, you go through and you walk out the store with one person checking you out.
Right.
And of course, then you can always go through the automatic lines where you just scan it yourself and
By yourself.
scan your card and walk out the door.
So, Maylin, they don't have trust issues with their customers there. They trust their customers that they'll pay. Unlike in the Philippines, we don't have self-checkouts. And yes, I know there are 3 people in the counter checking the receipt, tangling and everything, and checking what she just checked. So Everything is smooth and fast.
Yeah, very fast.
I always thought it was very funny about all the people checking you out. But at so to same token, I'm like, hey, all these people have jobs, so that's good.
Right. So how about the
Yeah.
traffic?
Everything's organized here.
Everything's organized, yeah? No trikes, no jeepneys, like like
No, not even any motorcycles because it's cold right now.
Good.
True, that's right. That's right. What are the things that you miss about the Philippines, Maylin, aside from your family?
She told me the other day was food. She really likes the fact that her food has faces.
I know. Even I eat the cheek. If it's lechon, I like the cheek.
We went to the market and they have the crab and they have the fish and shrimp. And she's like, look, nothing has a head.
Nothing has head.
No, just
Just the clean meat. That's all you get.
the crab. Oh, only the half.
Only the half of it. Okay.
The crab legs, the center of it's cut out.
Yeah,
the
that's all I
head.
did. I like all.
You like the whole thing?
My husband say, I don't like to see the lips and the eyes.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, guys, any advice to the viewers? I've been asked a lot of times what dating site I recommend. I said it's still best to come here and meet the person. And there's nothing wrong if you join Facebook groups, where you guys met.
And a word of advice that I would give guys that are looking for a Filipino prospect is I think our situation is a little more unique than the average guy.
Mm-hmm.
But if an American or European is interested in finding a wife, really, dude, when you step off the plane, you can find a girlfriend in a half an hour if you want to.
Yeah.
I mean, you go to the mall and you will have Filipinas approach you, and you don't even have to be good looking. So, I mean, my advice is go there and go find a girl because you'll find one that you like in a month easily. If you're picky, it may take you a month, or 2 weeks or vacation time, what have you.
Mm-hmm.
But very easy to find a wholesome Filipino girl if you just go there.
Right.
I've advised a couple of friends that have talked online to Filipinas and have, I don't know about this, and I don't know if she said this, and I don't know if I can trust this. Just forget all that. Just go there.
Yes. And
Meet some other person. It's very easy to do.
exactly, and I totally agree. And I'm not exaggerating when I said in my previous videos that you can actually have an instant girlfriend here, just being here. And if a woman is very interested in having a relationship with a foreigner, they will approach you. But it doesn't mean to say they're the cheapy kind of women, not necessarily. There are, of course, there are some. But if you are, I don't know, if you're looking for something more permanent, more, if you want to stay here longer, then it's easy to actually find a woman. You said if you're picky, in a month you can find a girlfriend here. It's not that difficult, guys. Just be here.
Yeah, and then you can answer all the questions of, is she really married and has children,
Mm-hmm.
You don't have all of those issues because you're going to meet the family, pretty quickly if you meet a Filipino that you like.
Yeah.
And it's just, I didn't know that, obviously, because when I got off the plane, I was approached a lot before I even married her, and just within a half an hour, I was approached. And when I went to the mall with her, a woman approached me in the mall because she had, I bought her some new shoes, and they were hurting her feet. So I went to get a Band-Aid to put on where the new shoe was rubbing her foot. And while I'm going to a store not very far from her, inside the mall, I'm approached by a girl, and I said, no, I'm sorry, I'm married. And she goes, well, she said, I don't see your wife. I said,
Wow.
goodbye.
Wow. Does it feel like the Twilight Zone, James?
Yes.
I just want to add, many guys think that, if they can meet a Filipina online, they think they can bring her west. It's not the case.
Yeah.
They cannot bring her to the west. She'll never get a visa because, as you've mentioned, you have to show a lot of pictures together. A lot of pictures together to prove that this relationship is legitimate. It's existing. Because
Yes.
other
A lot
thing,
of people.
they think that they can just sponsor a Filipina. Oh, I have a girlfriend online. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know. I don't want to sound negative, but they have this idea in their head that, okay, I'll ask her to come visit me or to be here with me, let's say in the United States or in the UK, other European countries. It's not as easy as that, guys. I just made a video about the visa scam because we cannot just go buy a ticket. We need visas, and that's why some of the scammers are using that. Just an FYI, guys. You have to be here. You have to meet the person.
Absolutely. Yes. Very difficult. It's a difficult process, and it's a lengthy process.
Yeah.
Hours more so because of the virus and the embassy being shut down. But even so, it's still a somewhat lengthy process.
Well, I'm still dwelling with that refusal of my visa. I'm gonna try again. And there are people thinking, there are some of my subscribers are saying, why don't you just fly to Mexico and just walk through the borders?
Yeah, a lot of us Americans have issues about that border. You know that.
I know. It's like, I'm thinking here, I'm legitimately applying for a visa, paying everything legally and stuff like that. And why don't you want me there? I just want to go on a vacation. I'm not going to be staying there. I'm not going to be just disappearing. I have families here. And I know from their standpoint. Plus, there are cases before, especially Filipinos, that they're known for overstaying, and they're tagged as tago ng tago, which means like TNT, we call them, like they're always hiding. I understand. It's just that, yeah, it was just bad. I had travel history. I never had any overstaying situation before. I had my Schengen visa before. I had my UK visa before. But US is like, okay, maybe the consul at that time was not in a good mood. Maybe that's about it. Because it was just a 2-minute conversation. Well, guys, I'm very, very honored that you've shared your story with me and my viewers. Thank you so very much for being on the show. I wish you both the best.
Can I add that she has a blog,
Ah,
Filipina Experience.
Filipina experience. All right. That's great. So, what's your vlog about? Life in the United States as a Filipina?
She has a view of
Yeah.
the Philippines.
I'm here.
In there. Okay. Well, Maylene, send me your link to your vlog and I'll put it in the description box of this video. And thank you so very much for the time. And good luck with your new life there in the United States, in Ohio.
It's been quite a nice time spending time with you, P.
Same here, James. Thanks, Maylene. Bye. Are you ready? Because it's time for a word from your captain. If you've abandoned ship in the West and you're looking for a Filipina first mate, just listen to your Captain P and you'll be shouting, "There she blows," in no time at all. There's nothing like the Philippines to put a little fire in the hole. And if you join me, crew, I'll get you there, right as rain. So subscribe to my channel. Hit that notification bell so you hear about any course corrections. And check out my Patreon page for exclusive vids and features. And for all you new seamen, stay off me poop deck. Don't be asking me to blow the man down. And keep your hands off me booty.